Annyeonghaseyo. Thank you very much. I think it's entirely fitting that we're speaking about economic growth and innovation here in Korea, a country that has jumped in record time into the ranks of the OECD and has done so not only by investing wisely in education and infrastructure, but also by adapting technology, driving productivity, and innovating. Korea's success is really an innovation story. It's also noteworthy that we are preoccupied with the theme of innovation and growth almost 100 years to the day that Joseph Schumpeter first completed his manuscript on the theory of economic development in Vienna in 1911. As described by Sylvia Nassar in her book, The Grand Pursuits, Schumpeter identified three elements of industrial and commercial life that drove dynamic growth: innovation, credit, and entrepreneurs. We have seen these factors drive phenomenal economic growth in Korea, creating many world-class companies that compete favorably in global markets. Schumpeter described innovation as the profitable application of new ideas. These ideas refer to innovation in products and processes, in management, supply methods, or in organizational arrangements. Now, with global growth lagging, many are looking to innovation to be the silver bullet. While that goal may be beyond what innovation can deliver, it continues to play a dominant role for countries seeking to increase productivity and competitiveness. In fact, recent OECD data shows that recent gains in per capita GDP emanating from productivity gains, much of it is due to intangible assets, which now accounts for more investment than physical capital in many OECD countries. In a recent symposium of the Growth Dialogue that I lead and the OECD, we focused on the changing geography of innovation, basically the move eastward. A number of emerging market economies are increasing their public R&D. Of course, this is only part of the story and the first link in the chain to higher productivity and growth. The necessary corollary is spending by businesses on innovation. While the evidence on the balance between the two is mixed, it's very clear what innovation requires. First, a competitive internal market. Second, active venture capital markets. And third, supportive government incentives and policies. An interesting OECD finding is that many successful innovators are firms that themselves do not invest much in R&D, but they know how to adapt it and adapt it effectively. A great deal of attention is devoted these days to who does the best basic research and location of knowledge clusters, a bit less on the aspects of entrepreneurship. So let me focus on that. I think the evidence is clear that entrepreneurs tend to be younger, they tend to be more risk-taking, and they tend to be more innovative. They need less capital, but they require low barriers to entry. They need Schumpeterian soil to take root, and they require public policies. Newer aspects of the innovation story focus on the transmission of knowledge and its applications, especially in the service sector, which now dominates GDP. Some would say that where R&D is conducted doesn't really matter, since you have a global transmission channel that is so rapid and firms that are so global. I would take small issue with that view to the extent that the geography of innovation is not immune to institutional factors. And here I speak of the protection of intellectual property that is at the heart of R&D and successful innovation. In this arena, all countries must play by the same rules. Newly emerging powers will need quickly to step up to be among the custodians of the global system if the full benefits of innovation are to be captured. We are faced with a world of slower growth, greater competition, increased societal stress, with widening distribution of income disparities, even as we see some global convergence. This requires newly emerging powers to accept additional responsibilities at an earlier stage of development. Switching slightly, as Neil deGrasse Tyson has lamented in the abandonment of the U.S. space program that had spawned many modern-day innovations, we need to look at the benefits of open innovation and their systems, since the beneficiaries exist across borders. Innovation efforts suffer, however, when economies are controlled by vested interests, when companies focus excessively on short-term profits, and innovation cannot flourish in a global environment dominated by economic nationalism. It is for that reason that the international community needs to bolster its global institutions and its global commitment to the multilateral system, which, while by no means perfect, has fueled the great improvements in economic well-being in the last half-century. As the OECD notes, innovation is seen as critical in fostering new and sustainable sources of growth. It offers the individual a chance to escape poverty. It affords firms the chance to adapt and to prosper. It offers countries the possibility that Korea took advantage of to modernize and transform their economies. Innovation requires individual effort, government effort, and international effort to be successful. These must operate at the same time. I worry least about the individual entrepreneur. I worry some about the actions of governments, particularly when they combine the powers of the state with commercial objectives. But I worry most about the institutional arrangements under which innovation operates. It is for that reason that I would like to advocate a renewed investment in those institutions and understandings that have driven economic growth in the post-war period and which are, in my view now, in need of some refurbishing. To maximize the future benefits of innovation, we should not take these for granted. Kamsahamnida.